but this one has this FireMaple adjuster. And it has got your graduations, it's got your 2, don't want to get lost in translation, Naturehike massif solo tent. Sapning! Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So in this week's episode I'm going to do a little run through of my winter loadout gear that I use while camping. Bear in mind some of it will be universal as well, because I'll use some of it through summer. But there will also be my flat pack folding stove with regards to the hot tenting. But I'll show you how I pack the bag as well, because I'm sure some of you have seen the bag and thought, how the hell is it getting all that gear into that little backpack? So I will show you exactly how I pack it, because I tell you now, I've been sat down on this floor numerous times, packing and repacking my backpack to get it so that I know it off the back of my hand. So it does take some time and some patience and some hot sweats, I tell you now, but once you get used to your backpack, that knowledge can be the most valuable thing to you, to be able to just bail if needs be. So I will get all the gear out, laid out on the floor. We'll run through each individual item. I'll explain what brand it is, where I probably got it from if I can remember. Got a mind like a sieve sometimes, honestly. But I tell you what, I'm gasping for a coffee. So I think what we'll do is we'll get a coffee first, and then we'll get down to the nitty gritty. So come on. Cheers, guys. I needed that. Beautiful coffee. Nice little latte. I won't let go of my Halloween mugs though, see-through mugs. Yeah, needed that. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to finish this off, and then I'll get the trusty old backpack here opened up, we'll get everything out on the floor, and we'll go through each individual bit like I was saying. Yeah, and I'll show you then how I pack it, because this is a roll top backpack, which we'll get to that shortly, why I prefer that one at the minute especially. So I'll finish this and we'll get down to it. So that's everything laid out, ready to go through. So we'll start from your left and we'll work our way to the right. We'll start with the knives that I've got here, because I do tend to go between these two different knives. So this is a relatively new one that I've got. So it's the BPS Thin Light It's a really good knife, I'll be honest with you. But the only issue I have with it is the sheath. There's no real points to carry it. Yeah, it's got 3 eyelets. You can do like what I've done or have it as a neck carry. The sheath's a little bit flimsy, but it is real leather. It is a good all-round knife. It's a Scandi grind. I mean, I do put a little micro bevel on mine, just because, I mean, when I did zero it in and give it a little tiny test carve, it just literally burred over straight away. But if you put a micro bevel on it, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Like the handle, yeah, it's a little bit smaller. I'd say the handle's more aimed towards like a carving knife, but if you hold it and get a good grip on it, I mean, I've got like medium to large hands. You can get a good grip and get some nice feather sticks going, or your crossbody. So that is a really good knife. 90-degree spine. I think it's 1066, it says on it. 1066 carbon steel. But it cuts through anything like butter. It is a little bit thinner. I think it's a 2mm or 2.5mm thickness. Ash handles, so that's a good one. So I carry that with me. I've been carrying it recently. Like I say, you can carry it as, I've got it as like a belt carry. So I got these like little cheap dangler attachments off of Amazon. I think it were a pack of 3 for £6. And it's literally just a keyring that I've put through top eyelet, like a sort of hook carabiner thing, and a Velcro dangler. So it literally, I can literally leave this left on my belt, and then just, if I want it off, clip it off, want it on, clip it on. It's as easy as that, and it creates like a little dangler. It's not bad, does the job. It's not ideal. I'd have preferred it to have been an already dangler one, but for the price, I think I paid £22 for it. So moving on, my other go-to is the Tops Fieldcraft 3.5 Mini Bob. Honestly, tongue twister that one, isn't it? So it's basically the Tops Brothers of Bushcraft, but the smaller version of it, like its little brother. It's got a fire steel on front, your spring clip on the back. I'm not too keen on spring clips. Yeah, it's easy on and off. Sometimes it can get caught in your belt, but it is a really good all-round knife. That's 1095 carbon steel. It is coated. The coating starts to rub off after a while. But this one's the 90-degree spine one. So you can get 2 different ones, one that's fully coated or one 90-degree spine. It's got McCarter handles. I can't remember full lengths and dimensions of it. I aren't getting too nitty-gritty into it. I just want to let you know what it is that I'm using. But I like it because this, I can smash this through some thick logs still. So I'd have my axe to get through some of the big berthas, and then this one just to get down to the kindling. But yeah, I love it. It's a good knife, and that solid click. Bit of a lanyard on there just in case. But yeah, push comes to shove, I've gone with just this before and just made sure that I'm not cutting ridiculously big logs. I'm just cutting ones that are like 3 inch in diameter and then batoning them with this, and I don't always need my hatchet. So next one that we've got here is the Campingmoon coffee grinder. Now this is a recent purchase. I've had, what were the brand now that I had? I can't remember the brand of coffee grinder that I had, but it is pretty much a replica of it in terms of how smooth it is. But it's absolutely brilliant. This is the Campingmoon CC152. I believe this is the medium and they do a small. So this one does up to 27 gram of coffee and the small does something like, is it 15? Correct me if I'm wrong. So it's got like a bearing on there so it can rotate perfectly. And I believe it's the stainless burrs inside or aluminium burrs, but either way it's better than your ceramic ones. So yeah, you just pop it off, fill it up with coffee, and get it back on now, there we go, and then it just comes off. But I'm telling you now, the CNCing on this is brilliant. And on the bottom it does say, it tells you exactly what you can use it for. So this says, let's have a look, espresso 10 clicks to 14 clicks, pour over 18 to 26, French press 26 to 28, and it just tells you fine and coarse, and it's got a load of numbers and an arrow, and it does actually click. It's not like ones where you're just turning it and hoping for the best and it can loosen as you're grinding. But let's see if I can show you this. So yeah, it's brilliant. Needs a bit of a clean. It does come with also, I like that it packs away like that. So that folds over and the handle's underneath rather than stuck out on the side. Just makes it easier to fit in between things as you stuff it in your backpack. So in here, you do get a little brush, and it is very high quality, this little brush. Just to brush the coffee grinds out to stop them like going funny on grinder. But the pouch, honestly, it's like a canvas, like a thick canvas. I think they've started doing most of the gear, you know, like their retro style bushcraft gear like that. And it's got little like Molly style attachments. I know it's not Molly, but yeah. So you could, in theory, attach it to the side of your backpacks or whatever you want to do. You attach it to another pouch, whatever. So that is the Campingmoon coffee grinder. That's my go-to coffee grinder. Yeah, you can take it pre-ground. I do that sometimes, but there's no better than getting fresh coffee beans and grinding them in woods, because the smell that it releases once you do that is unbelievable. And it creates like a vibe when you're doing it. Yeah, it probably sounds woke, I get it, I know. So we'll move on to the grill. So this you'll have seen me use to cook burgers and steaks and things like that. So this grill is just, so if you go on Amazon, you can just type in bushcraft grill and it just comes up. I think it was a set of 2, so you get a little square one which is like half the size of this. So it's like half the size, and then this size. I believe Dave Canterbury does them on Pathfinder School as well. Just this size. I don't know if he does a smaller one. He might do it as a set. I'm not sure. But yeah, so that's a bushcraft camping grill. Honestly, it's really useful, and it's like it's made a lot more rigid due to the it's like a crinkled effect that they've put onto the metal. Everything warps eventually. I mean, if you put this in absolutely scorching hot coals for ages or flames beating at it, then yeah, it's probably going to warp a little bit. But I've had it glowing red and it's fine. But yeah, this is the combo that I use. So I've got the Dave Canterbury Pathfinder bottle hanger. I believe you can get these other places, like copies of them. I know that the bushcraft store here in the UK do them as well as their own. But they're the same thing, and I think they're about the same price. And you just undo it. So it's like a fish hook thing. And you just pop it through the grill on the top, and it just sort of holds like that. And then you put it over a stick, as long as you've carved the stick to the right diameter, and it'll hold, sort of like a pot hanger. You know, when you do your pot hangers, it's like a Y stick, and it pivots and holds itself. That's all that does on the stick that you jam into the ground. And you create a platform so you can put pots on it to boil your water so they're not falling all over your coals, and balancing. And you can cook your food on it. Honestly, it's a brilliant little combination, is that. So that's the bushcraft grill. It is in a pouch that I got a little folding Boundless Voyage table, and it just had a pouch, and I haven't been really using the table since I got my other one, which we'll move on to soon. So I've been using that for that. So the next thing, we'll show you the coffee drip since we've done the grinder. So this is the Boundless Voyage Titanium Coffee Drip. This, I think this might be the small. They do them in different sizes for this, because this is like the balancer that sits on your pot, like that. So it sits on, you can get different sizes. I think this is the small, which works well for my cup. I'd say for most, so if you imagine your house mugs, so your standard size house mugs, like cups for your cups of tea and coffee, that fits them perfectly. You get any bigger, it's for your bigger ones that get wider. So like this one that I've been using today, this one's a bit wider than your standard coffee cup, so it won't fit on that as well. It'll just balance, I'd say, but don't fit right well. Bit of coffee on there now. But yeah, and it's all titanium. I believe even the meshes. So, and you know, it's antimicrobial, antibacterial, is titanium, everything, so it's quite good. And for me, cleaning it, I just get a bigger cup or filter sink with boiling water, and I just sit it in it. You don't need to do that, but yeah, you can just rinse it through, really. When I'm in woods, I just rinse it with a bit of excess water from Kettle that I've used, and it just gets rid of it, grinds out at mesh. I have been using that Primula Brew Buddy, that one that's like a red circular one. That's good, but I like this one. I've had this for a while. I thought I'd dig it out and show you guys it because I ain't seen anyone use it. So if you stay tuned to my videos, you'll see. I mean, it has got a little hole in the middle where there's still mesh there, but it drops like a perfect little stream. So it directs it to that rather than it just sort of going everywhere. So that's the coffee drip. This, my little mini chopping board. So I'm looking everywhere for a mini chopping board because you don't want a massive, oversized, excess, ridiculous chopping board to take with you. I've had the plastic ones that you can get, where you can get like packs of plastic ones, but I find if you take a hot steak straight off, or burgers off of the fire or out of a pan and put it on the plastic ones, they tend to want to lift and raise and warp from the heat. So I got this one. This one's an IKEA one. I looked everywhere. They come up as like serving boards and all sorts, and I was like, I don't want a little serving board with all these little grooves in it. So I just found this at IKEA. I believe it's bamboo. It's absolutely perfect. Yeah, slightly a bit more weighty than a plastic one, but it's solid. It's quite thick. It's not too thick where it's going to be cumbersome in your backpack, but yeah, it is. It's a good little chopping board. So that's that. I think that were only like £3, if that. So then we've got so this is one of my all-time favourite items, this. Honestly, I'll be honest with you, this is one of my favourite. I'm going to get some of that mess out of there. I'll have to hoover up, I don't want Mrs. kicking my ass. So yeah, so it's my light. So this you'll have seen, they do solid hard cases that. They do a version of this light that you'll see all YouTubers and everybody else doing and using. And I'll be honest with you, yeah, I haven't tried the other one, but if I had to put them together, I'm guessing this one would be better. So the other one you can use as a power bank, this one you can't. That's the only negative to this one, to the other one. This is still 10,000 milliamp, I believe that one's the same. This one's called Mytrix. This is a Amazon spec. So this was, I think I got it for £55. Now, the one it's a copy of is £150. So there's a big difference there. So literally you just undo the legs, it magnets to the bottom. The magnets could be stronger, so maybe that, yeah. The other one I think is a little bit better. You get what you pay for, don't you? For that little inconvenience, it makes no difference to me. It keeps wanting to do that, but as long as you open it, hold it, and then place it down, it's no issue. It is also a torch. So it's a torch that's got 1, 2 setting, 3 setting. It's got 3 settings. So it's a torch as well as a lantern. So you literally raise it up to your desired height. So you can have it that high. That's as high as it goes. So you can see from the floor up to me, it's to my chest. So that's from the floor. Got 1 setting, 2 setting, 3 setting. So that's quite bright, and that's on the orange setting. So if you hold it, it will cycle through different colours. So that's the ice white. So I can have it in, that's even whiter. So you can cycle it in between. So that's like partly ice white and the orange effect. But I like that effect. It just creates a nice ambience around camp. Now the one benefit to this one as well, not only the torch, which the other one doesn't have, the expensive one, but this one has this. Now it creates like a little mini lamp. So when you're in bed, relaxing in your tent and you don't want too much light, or maybe you're trying to keep light to a minimum, then you've just got a lamp like that. Now the other one doesn't do that. So for me, yeah, you get pros and cons with both, but for the price, I'd go for this one all day long. Every day at week, even on a Sunday. It has got little glow bits at the bottom, and you do get some pegs with it. You get three pegs, little thin pegs that go through the hole, so if you don't want it to be knocked or moved. I mean, I don't bother taking them, but I've used this literally in winter here. It's from like when I first started using it, so say 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon, and I've used it right up until about 2 in the morning, and not even 1 bar went from this, and there is 4 bars So all 4 bars were lit up. Yeah, so all 4 bars were lit up, but I did have it on the low setting. So just bear in mind, the higher setting you have it, the quicker it'll go down. But that's Mytrix, it's called. Mytrix. So Mytrix. And it comes with this lovely little case. It just slots into, and you've got this little pouch here that you could either put a little charging cable in with, or the pegs that it comes with, or both. So that's the lantern. So this, now, I don't know if you guys have actually even seen this in my videos. This I don't normally have on show. This is my toilet bag. So you get a lot of people that take toilet roll and stuff like that with them to the woods. So in here I've got some bog roll, hand sanitizer, and some toilet wipes. They are biodegradable toilet wipes. Specifically, I get quite a few packs of the biodegradable ones, and that's what I do. So that's just toilet pack. Bright orange, so I know exactly where it is when I've got a rush after a coffee. So this next one is my Flextail pillow. It's the Flextail contour pillow. Now this one actually got in a sale on AliExpress. Now I don't shop on places like that normally, but around Christmas there were loads of bargains kept popping up on Facebook and things like that, and I got drawn in, didn't I? I ended up doom scrolling, you know, like you do. Sat at home and just a bit bored, want to get to the woods. Oh, got all that camping gear. What can I spend pennies on to make me feel good about camping? So I found this. I believe it's meant to be, this is obviously UK, so 15 Great British pounds. Or 15 to 19, it's something like that. I got it for £4, free postage and everything. So you'll see me use this. Get it out of its pack. Now it has got a slightly padded top to it. It's not really padded. You're not going to feel like you're on the moon, like floating on a cloud or something. But it is slightly padded on one side, and it is just a valve there. Now, yeah, you can use Flextail pumps and yeah, all this and other with moisture in your sleeping bags. There has been numerous videos done by other people showing that it doesn't always damage your sleeping bags. I use a pump sack for my sleeping bag that the sleeping bag is in, but my pillows are blown up just by mouth. It takes about 5 short breaths, so something like that anyway. What was that, 4 breaths? You got a contour pillow. It does have elastic on the back to go over your sleeping mat, stop it sliding around. They work to an extent. As soon as you start pushing and getting more weight on it, they do want to slide up your sleeping bag, but it's better than not having it. If you're wanting more padding, now what I do, because when I'm in my tent, the problem for me is I like to lay down and watch a movie, or sort of lay down a bit more upright rather than flat. It doesn't feel that nice flat sometimes. And it doesn't matter how your pillows are, they're never thick enough in a tent to what you'd have at home. So I either get like my hoodie or my jacket and I put it underneath the pillow, in between the pillow and the sleeping mat, with that around the sleeping mat, so it locks it in. Or what you can do is, because it's a cover is this, so you can see it inside. So you can take this cover off or just move it out of the way and put like a jacket in between it. So it pads this out even more and raises you. So that is a good little idea to be able to do. So that's the Flextail contour pillow. So all I do is screw it up to get the air out. Fold it, roll it. You can, if you want, just stuff these. With stuff like this, your sleeping bags, your sleeping mats, you can just stuff them in your backpack. I've only recently been using them in the stuff sacks just because, I'll be honest with you, I don't even know really. Sometimes I like a bit of order to things rather than being messy, because I do tend to stuff my sleeping bag in. So that fills all the voids anyway. So, because you got to remember, when you put stuff in your backpack and it's round and it's touching something else that's round, it creates a void in between them. So you're wasting space in your backpack, but we'll go through all that when I pack it. So that is The Flextail contour pillow. So next one, I think some of you guys have seen this, my mini hot water bottle. Now this is absolute godsend in winter if you're in a tent that's not a hot tent. So this, like I say, this is one of them that I'd use on and off. So if I'm in a hot tent, won't bother. If I'm in a normal tent, like I have done in my previous Nortent Vern 1, canvas one, I took this. It's flat, doesn't take up any room. It can just slot into the bladder compartment of your backpack. You can roll it up, put it in a little void in your backpack, whatever. You can take water in it, ready to go, because they don't leak. So you could take it with the water in that you're going to use purely for this. Instead of wasting any water that you're carrying with you if there's no water sources nearby. And yeah, just don't drink the water you put in it. It's not actually a water bladder and it'll taste horrible. And I don't know if it'd do up to you because they're not the best. It's just rubber in it. But yeah, that just fits into your kangaroo pocket on your hoodie. Like that. So if you just sat around camp, it keeps you warm. You can put your hands in there to warm your hands up. That cost me £2.50 from a local store near me. Tiny, absolute godsend. Honestly, don't knock it till you've tried it. So my sleeping mat, now I'm not going to get this out, you've seen this in a video. If you're unsure what it looks like, revert back to my other videos because you'll see me inflating it. And I believe my last video that I did, which was in the Naturehike, in that tent, the Naturehike massive solo tent in a new location. In that video, I'll try to link it in the description below. I talk about this and you can see it with the thickness when it's inflated. This is the ATEPA sleeping mat. It's got 150D Oxford stuff sack, 20D nylon fabric. It weighs, what's that, 590 grams. Its open size is 182 centimetres by 62 centimetres by 9 centimetres thick. So it's quite a big and wide mat. And this obviously is the sack that pumps it up, the pump sack, so it's got a little valve on the bottom there. And the inside sort of pulls back out on itself so that it's the same length as that again. And you just blow into it a bit of air and push it and it pumps it. It can be a little bit monotonous, you know, just pumping because it's not the biggest pump sack, but it's solid, absolutely solid is this. It's a lovely, lovely sleeping bag, and that's, it's called the ATEPA, so ATEPA Pack-Lite H9. Now, I think this is actually the R value of 5.6 or 6. I love this mat. I've tried all sorts of mats. I've tried the FireMaple, I've tried the lite. Now, for me, the FireMaple, I don't like the mummy style. I'm not sure if they do the standard style like this, where it's like a squared off style, the full length. But yeah, they're expensive for what they are. I've had the lite, I've had the Trekology. That one kept going down on me constantly. I had about 4 of them and they just kept going down. So annoying with that. And they were £40 each. I know it doesn't seem a lot for a sleeping mat considering what you'd pay for a FireMaple, but it were ridiculous. The amount I'd spent, I could have bought a FireMaple. This, I think when I bought this, I paid between 35 and 50 for it. It does vary in price. It keeps going on offer on Amazon. I think it's at £90 at the minute, so it does go up, but that's probably because I know they've got a good product. So if you find it at a good price, hit that buy button if it's less than 90 quid, because I'm telling you now, even at 90 quid, it's worth it. So next, in fact, no, we'll go with this because you guys will wonder what this is when you see the videos. So this is my 3 Peaks pouch, like handles, double zip, and it says made from recycled plastic bottles. I'll be honest, I don't really care what it's made from. It's going to get used and looked after for a long time, so either way, it's not going at no landfill for me. So it's got the 2 handles, it's got a little popper that undoes it, dual zips, and it's like a flat pouch. It does have a little spacer in between as well, like padded spacers, so you can choose to organise it how you want. I've chose to use one, I think there's 3 that come with it. So I've got my lantern in here, my toothbrush, so it's like a folding Colgate toothbrush. I can remember how to do it. So it's a toothbrush. I mean, I use electric ones at home because they're better for you, but if you're doing a night or two in woods, it's not a biggie. So toothbrush, I've got a bin bag there just as a backup. I always carry something like that, because say that my tent is absolutely soaking and the bag's soaking and I'm packing it all in my backpack with my sleeping bag that's down, I can just bang it straight into this bin bag and it protects everything. Or I can use the bin bag as a liner in my backpack and separate the tent from it if I don't want it on the outside of my bag, which obviously you can do, but sometimes it just looks messy and pulls you all over the place. So honestly, you're going to laugh at some of this stuff. So I have face sun protection, which is SPF 50 plus. I always carry that on me because you'll find when you're in woods and it's sunny, obviously I'm covered, I don't go topless unless I'm getting in a river. So your thing that burns is your nose and your face. So I have a bit of a sensitive skin on my face, so I use SPF 50, special one. So that one, good to have. You don't want to be getting skin cancer. Mini toothpaste, I want to get a better one than that. I've had it quite a while as well. So the other stuff that's in here, pocket first aid kit. It's got everything in there that I need, paracetamol as well. It's got antihistamines. I've put some of my own bits and bats in it. Plasters, bandages, scissors, a mini multi-tool. I've got Afterbite for bug bites, because I don't know what happened recently, but I kept going through a phase of getting bitten by mosquitoes because I was camping near water. Got my Klarus CL3 lantern. This lantern is absolutely brilliant. It's sort of like diffused as it is, but it can be attached to a tripod with the, like, is it 1/4 inch thread screw? It's like your standard camera screw tripod. It can go onto there. It's got a solid hook that's built into it. You can't remove the hook, but so bear that in mind. It can be a bit rattly unless you've got it hanging. It's got your charging port. I think this is actually rated waterproof wise as well. And this has got, so it's got the orange setting, like a sort of brighter orange setting, then a white, which is really bright. And it's got one that sort of goes in and out. So it creates like a slow fire flicker effect. And that only works for 20 minutes. So you put that on, you want to fall asleep, just leave it 20 minutes, that one will turn itself off. The other ones I think stay on. So bear that in mind. But they're brilliant. That can last me a good few nights in woods, can that, before it even needs a charge. Now this head torch, I couldn't tell you the brand. I'll be honest with you, it was something like NPOC Gypry or something. It was some random just letters thrown together. It were a no-name brand. This is an 18650 head torch. So I did used to work doing vape shops at one point. So what I had were a load of 18650 batteries that were better than the ones that were in it and protected a lot better. So I took the one that were out, put my own 18650 in, and it lasts ages. So you unscrew the side. If I can remember to find if I can find the links, guys, for some of these things, I will put the links for them down below as well. So you unscrew there, and it reveals a charging port, USB-C. And then you screw it back up, and it hides it away. So it is waterproofed. And then this side, you unscrew that, and that's your battery. It's got a picture of a battery and a picture of a charger. Then you've got your button. You press your button, lights up green if it's fully charged, starts going red as it's not. So I think that's on full, that's half, and that's low. Then it does have your red, stop the bugs coming around you as much. It doesn't prevent them. I've used it and they still come near you. I think they're just attracted to people in general most of the time. And then you've got your flashing red. I believe it does have an SOS mode. I think you tap it or hold it in. I've got 2 power banks together. They do a 20,000 milliamp, this company. It's called Inu. I don't know. But it's brilliant. It's probably one of the best power banks I've had that's on a budget. And they went on offer. So these are two 10,000 milliamp ones. They do a 20,000 now. But when I got these, they didn't have that. And it's actually fast charge. So it charges my phone or whatever I've got on me quite fast. And it is really good. So that's the power bank. And it's 10,000 milliamps. I've got two of them stuffed into one pouch that they come in. And it's got a screen on it that tells you percentage. It's got two outputs and then a USB-C input. And it has also got a little torch. I mean, I don't know why you'd use that. I mean, I suppose if you've got it to hand and you haven't got a torch with you, you can sort of find little bits and bats on the floor or whatever we've put down. It does come with a kickstand. Little kickstand there, so you sit it flat and your phone sits on there and sort of it holds it at an angle so you can watch your phone. I got them on offer at £10 each on Amazon, and I've had them for about 3 years and they're still going strong. So honestly, you don't always have to get really expensive gear. Don't get me wrong, yeah, I've spent a lot of money and this is quite expensive, some of this gear, but if you make your little cutbacks on certain stuff and you find the right things, you can make it a lot more beneficial. So in here is also my work sharp, guided field sharpener. It's got your coarse side. I've got a little bit of a rag in there and some sharpening compound for the strop. And then that just magnetises down. It gives you a bit of an angle guide, so 20-degree angle guide. It's got a little hold so you can hold it there like a thumb hold. You can place it like that or on something so you're not going near your leg. You can even hold it flat. It's got a coarse and a fine side. It's got your ceramic. I believe that's for your serrated edges. And then that's your ceramic for your knife. So it's got one for your hooks, your fishing hooks, and you turn it, it's got a coarse and a fine ceramic. And your leather strop. Bring it over so you can see it. So that's the guided field sharpener. It's the work sharp guided field sharpener. So that's that. I'll just give you a close-up of the head torch as well, just in case you want to look for something similar. Little button there. It's got an adjuster. So yeah, and then I also carry my, it's like knife lube stuff. Eagle Tears, I think it's called. It looks like a lip seal thing you put on your lips, but yeah, you just dab it on your knife and rub it in and it's food safe. You're not carrying like a bottle of oil that could leak. So that's in there as well. So all of that fits in there nicely. So that's basically like my utility pouch. Yeah, they're not necessities. You'd probably say you don't need all that, but I take it anyway. It's just good to have. What happens to a knife? You don't want to be thinking, oh, what am I going to do? Sharpen it. Got my chargers for like my phone, camera and stuff. So moving on, we'll move on to this one next. So this is just my firelighting kit. So simple. I mean, I don't have all this stuff that people carry around with them. You know, I tend to just find it as and when. I'm not in a survival scenario. So I've just got some, they're like compressed cardboard firelighters. You get a pack of them for £1.50, you get a pack of 60, I think it is. Just in a Ziploc bag to keep them dry. Then I've just got a chunky giant fire steel with no candle, which you've seen me use. My little tiny extended clipper lighter. And my trusty, good old pal, fire bellow. So you can blow your fire to life when it starts to die out. That is brilliant, honestly. The fire bellows, for the size of it, just get one. Trust me. You can't go wrong. Even with your tent stoves, they start to die out or something happens, you blow it back to life. I mean, I've woke up in the morning before and my tent stove is still warm from the night, like there's still some coals buried under ash, and I've just thrown some kindling in and blown it to life. No messing about. So, that's that. So, let's get on to my cooking pot because I use numerous different cooking pots. So I have used my Trangia, I love that, especially if you're somewhere where it's windy. It's got its own wind guard. But this is the Helicantex Cordura bottle pouch. So this kit I made up myself. It's really good. So you've got gas. This is the Jetboil 100 gram gas canister. And I write on the bottom then as well what it is when it's full. You can see that. Full 198 gram. Because I have the adapter where you can fill it off. I've got a load of big ones that I don't use because they're too big, but I got them at a decent price. When a store were closing down, they went on sale, so I got a load. And I just fill these little ones up from them. I've got the little valve that you can get on Amazon. So yeah, there's that. And then this is the new, well, relatively new, it's not the newest, the FireMaple, is it the petrol G3 pot? Yeah, so that's the FireMaple pot. It's got a fold over handle that you squeeze in and open it. Gives you a solid hold. It's got insulating on it, so you want to be careful, don't be like dumping this straight on a fire if you do get one. Now this isn't the best at absorbing the heat from a stove when you're tent camping, so that is the problem when you're tent camping and you don't want to have to take another pot. Sometimes I take a little tiny kettle with me, my Trangia one, just for that, and then keep this for when I ain't got the stove going. I can make a quick brew on go. But this I tend to take if I'm just using a tent without a stove or on a day hike. So it's got a little rubber tab to lift the lid off, and then I've got my cup. Now this cup, this is what I was going to bring you back to. This cup marries up with this. This actually comes with this kit. So I'll go through this one in a minute. I'll just show you what's in my cup. So I have my tea bags, my wort green tea, my Boundless Voyage. Get this out of the way, I'm juggling. Titanium folding spork. Now, I believe the spork itself's titanium, but I think the handle's stainless. I'm not too sure, don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's just got a little adjuster. It folds up, like you see. If you can see it, there you go. Boundless Voyage. Move that out of the way. Move it down. Just a little spork. You can eat with it. Mix your brews, whatever you want to do with it. If I don't demolish it, there we go. It says titanium on it, I don't know. This might be titanium. I won't know unless I burnt it on fire. Yeah, and then I've got my FireMaple Green Peak stove. Now this is made for this pot. So this is the Green Peak one. You'll see it's got a little igniter and little grooves around it. And the arms fold, so you'll know then that that is the one for this. So I'll show you what it's like. So that's the stove with the igniter, then you just rotate these up, and then that's the stove. FireMaple. We are adjuster. So the distance of them is perfect for the pot. I'll show you now. So if you've got that, it just locates perfectly like that in each individual one, and it stops it from, once you've got it on, it stops it from wanting to come off, even if it rocks back a little bit, because it can tend to rock back a little bit. It won't come off still, it's got it. So until you put water in, it's like the handle just sort of knocks it back a bit, but it is solid. That stove, I've had a Soto stove before, didn't rate it, thought it was just overpriced hype. This one's my favourite. FireMaple Green Peak stove. So, and that all nests inside this cup. So what I'll do is I'll move that out of the way and I'll show you this other version. So this is if I'm hot tent camping and I don't want to take a kettle. I want to try and minimise the gear in my pack. So I've put it. So that's the cup. All that would still go in the cup even if I were using this other cup kit. So this is what this originally came with. So it's this set. This is the Soto thermostack cooking kit. So it's not just the mug, it's the cooking kit. So it comes with a little, it's like a little Trangia handle. Little Trangia handle to grab the pot. So I'll take it out of here and show you. So you can grab it like a pot holder. And it has got your graduations. It's got your 2, your 3 and your 500, and then I think it goes up to like 800 at the top, obviously without the mark. Soto on the bottom. So this originally comes with this. So it goes inside of there like that, and then that's your nesting set. So you've got your cup and the pot, and then you've got your insulated like pouch. So this is good for if you've cooked food in your pot and you want to hold the pot to eat it out of. It just slots inside there. It's like opening an iPhone box, honestly. It's so soothing. So you put it in, it just nicely slides in, and you can hold it and eat out of it still. It's got strainer holes, so you can get water out if you're boiling something in there. Like a drink spout, or you can pour through that like a pour spout. The lids are on quite well. I'll also show you what else it does. So you've got all that, and then this is the cup. Now this is an insulated cup, purely because of that. So it creates a vacuum between 2 layers. So that's stainless steel with a rubber seal, and that's titanium. This one's aluminium. So you've got aluminium, stainless steel, titanium. So this is your titanium bit. People get muddled up when they look at the description. That's not titanium, it's aluminium is the cook pot. Yes, that's titanium. I've used this as like a little whiskey thing, or putting juice in it and just drinking juice out of it. And then you just pop it back on there and you've got your drinking cup, and it does actually keep your stuff warm for a while, quite a long time. It's brilliant. I love it. I'll show you up close. You got it there. Drinking spout, air release hole, so you're not burning your lips off. You pull it apart, got your titanium and your stainless steel, and it creates an air pocket inside. Got your graduations on it as well. So if you, in theory, if you really wanted to, you could take just this cook kit. I could boil water in this, which I'll show you in another video when I'm actually out in woods. I'll boil water in this and fill this up with it, and then just put them back together to create the insulation. So then you've got an even smaller cook set. So yeah, can be done, guys. It can be done. You've just got to use your wits about you and your brain. Just think outside the box. That's all you're doing. Right, I've made a bit of a mess here now, haven't I? Making a mess for you guys, aren't I? Show you everything. Thing is, I thought, what's point in just showing you it, bits and bats, and just telling you names if I'm not going to explain what's what? I'm sure if you want to see what the gear is, you want to know what it does. Otherwise, what's the point of the video? So we'll put that back in there. And then back in there. And then your gas can sit on top. There you go. So that's that one. We'll get this with a handle in it for now, because I aren't using it. Also, this pouch holds the gas, so while I've got that full in there, so if that had the cup inside and everything, it's big enough to hold 100 gram gas. It's actually made for it, it's grooved on the lid. So yeah, that's another good one. That's the Soto thermostack cooking set. So yeah, they're my go-to for now. Every gear changes, doesn't it? Someone comes out with a new innovation, yeah. So next, we've got the FireMaple dandelion pole table. So you've seen this in videos. I absolutely love this. I'll be honest, it is a copy though of like the Pomoly one. So Pomoly do a Pomoly G3 gimbal table. So theirs is like a pole that detaches in half, goes in on itself, and then you pull it apart, screw it together, stab it in ground, and it's got like a camera tripod where you can sort of adjust to get the level. This one don't, so you sort of iron up the level. Can be a bit annoying sometimes, but it's fine. This is stainless steel, but it's solid and it's not too heavy. So it has got the thread there, but you've got all these cutouts to slide stuff through to stop it falling and keep it from rolling off and what have you. I hang my sporks and stuff, can hang gear off of it. What's good about them is I can have it the lowest setting possible, so it's barely just off the ground, just to get stuff off the ground. I can have it medium height, high height, or I can have it the maximum height and be in a hammock and just be able to reach for my brew, put it down. Absolutely perfect. Comes in a solid pouch. It's got a waterproof coating. It's got like a little zippered section. Where all your pole pieces are, you get 4. If you want to see me use that, refer back to my other videos because I do use it pretty much every video. So you'll see it being used. It's absolutely brilliant, honestly. And I mean, look at how small it is. It's a bit bigger in overall like size, the shape, but it's flat. It just goes into a bladder compartment, you don't even know it's there. So I've got I've mentioned this before, my Briers leather gardening / driver gloves. It's just the genuine leather, but it's just a cheap glove. I think they're about £10–15 from the local store near me. Don't need all spectacular. You got to think you're messing with fire and stuff with them, which I tend to burn thread a little bit sometimes if I'm messing with fire too long or my stove. Why would I want to do that to really expensive gloves? So yeah. Then I've got this. Now this is an absolute brilliant addition. Most people will overthink this and go silly. So normally when you get your pots and stuff and they need cleaning out or they need drying before you go home, so you're not just getting water on everything, things like that. So instead of just leaving them upside down, letting them dry out or putting them on heat and risking warping them, or if they're aluminium, melting them, I tend to have this towel. So it's a microfiber Helicantex towel. Now I've used this when I've gone away on a Scotland trip before and then been to a hotel after. I've used it to dry myself, used it to dry my gear, to pack it away. I've used it even to dry my tent. So although, yeah, your material, your tent can absorb the moisture a little bit, this just takes off that main base layer of moisture to take away the weight and stop it going all over inside of your bag. Just wipe bottoms of your walls and all inside and outside, just quick wipe down and it absorbs it all. Honestly, I mean, look at the size. It's no worth its weight in gold. So you've all seen this Fiskars, the X7 hatchet. So that's the X7. It's just that and off. Now you can get, I think there's already places that have made sheaths for these, like leather sheaths and that, but I'm just sticking with this one. It's got like a little handle, so you can sort of hang it off stuff. But these are brilliant, honestly, they're absolutely brilliant. It's like, I think it's a nylon glass-filled handle or, excuse me, or fiberglass or something. I've never had one of these break, ever, but I've had hatchets break, because sometimes you miss hit and you hit the neck of the hatchet or the axe and it can just start to splinter and you've got to replace the handle and it's a ball ache. But these are solid. They are tested rigorously to make sure that they are. I think it's a hollow handle as well. It's got a lanyard hole. I think it's carbon steel. The edge can be a bit hit and miss when you get it, but just sharpen it to how you like it. If you want it convex, convex it. But yeah, Fiskars hatchet, and it's good because the handle, you can see where it is. A lot of time with a wooden handle, you can't always make it out in the woods. My little bottle, I do carry like my Nalgene Oasis, my Pathfinder bottle. They always vary depending on the size of kit I'm taking. Just one of your budget Systema insulated bottles. Now I'm taking this one purely because it has been icy conditions. I don't want my water freezing. It's only about a 300ml bottle. It's not massive, but it's for when I'm in the tent at night. I'll fill this up and I'll have this in with me so I can just have drinks when I'm just chilling before I go to sleep. Brilliant, solid little bottle, rubber handle to open it. So brilliant, cheap as chips. So that's the spelling on it. It's a good bottle. I like it. They do different sizes as well. This is next one. Excuse me, let me just get a drink, honestly. Tickly throat syndrome here. Right, that's better. So, this is the made in Canada. So this is the AGAWA Boreal 21 folding saw. So it comes in this, you can get it on its own, get it in a leather sheath, or this like Cordura material. It's got a press stud top, and I think it has got like a compartment in here to put spare saw blades in. So that's your saw. Handle folds around, turn it over. This bit folds over, pull it down. A little lip here that goes onto the bottom. Get ready for the bang. And there you go, you've got a bow saw. Easy to change as well, just like a little washer that you pop off and change the blade. You can get cheap versions of the blade as well. It's a very serviceable tool. And I find I've had the Laplander, I've had the Silky Big Boy, the Silky Gone Boy, the Silky Pocket Boy, and I find that this cuts better. I do. I find this cuts better, you've got more control. And if needs be, you can get someone else on the other side and both just push and pull. So, good saw. Love it. So that's the 21. Just for reference, so when that fits on the side of my bag, it's not taller than the bag. So you can get one size bigger and one size smaller. Mine's like the medium size. So that's the saw. This here is just a cheap, it's like a Z-Lite folding kneeling mat. I've got all getting more mess on the floor. Honestly. Dear me, I have to run Hoover around. Yeah, so it's brilliant, is this? When you're doing stuff and you don't want to, you can't always be stood up in a tent, or you might not always take a chair, but this is brilliant. You need to stand up and have a wee outside at tent door, if you're a bloke, you know what I mean? Or if you need to just kneel down in front of fire, or you're doing something cooking, absolute brilliant. Even if it's just, what else do I do? So sometimes I don't always sit inside the tent inner. I'll sit half in and my feet out. I can take my boots off and put my feet on these so they're not on dirty floor. Honestly, they're brilliant, these. Put them on top of logs to sit on a log. It's comfortable, it's warmer. Straight on floor, back against a tree. Brilliant. That cost, I think it were a pack of 2 for £11. Bargain. So next one is the Pomoly T1 mini stove. They have changed these a little bit on the website, so you'd have to have a look and just make sure. But yeah, so my Pomoly titanium T1 mini folding stove. I'm not going to get it out, ash will go everywhere. I'm already making a mess underneath me here. So if you want to have a look, just refer back to my other videos, my hot tenting videos. I have been using this quite a bit recently. So just make sure that it's this one. There's no side glasses on it. So if you watch a video with one with a side glass, it's not this. It's the one without. So have a look for that in one of my other videos. I will put some up on screen either side of me. Some videos at the end of the video now. So this one, I've only put this one in purely because I have got other hot tents you've seen me use if you've watched the channel. I've put this one in because this is my favourite at the minute to date hot tent. This is the Naturehike massive solo one-man tent. It's absolutely brilliant. Now you'll see, I think I've done 2 videos of this, and there will be another upcoming video at some point of me using it. It's absolutely brilliant. You get like a living area and a sleeping area. It's 15D sil nylon, and look at the pack. There's no to it. It's absolutely tiny. Where's note for a hot tent? It's got inner pockets, hooks, washing line loops, everything. I'll show you. So you know what I'm saying when I'm saying it. Don't want to get lost in translation. Naturehike massif solo tent. So they do two. So there's the big version, which is a 2-man tent with, I think, 3 doors. This is the solo version with one door. Absolutely brilliant. The poles fixed to the outside of the tent, so it's like an exoskeleton. Honestly, more tent companies need to jump on that hype, because I'm telling you now, having the poles on the outside of the tent is so much more easier. That's why I prefer for wild camping my Nortent Vern 1. They're brilliant. Having the poles on the outside and just clipping them. Yeah, they might not be strongest in really harsh conditions, but it's so easy to put up. If I'm not filming, I can have it up in about 5 minutes flat, this tent. It's absolutely brilliant when it's on outside at tent. So tent companies, pay attention. Yeah, so that's that. So my sleeping bag, I have done this in another video. This is the Black Snow. It's the heaviest one they do. It looks big in this purely because it's like a mesh bag to let it air out so it doesn't damage insulation, you know, having it compressed all the time. So it's always best to put them in these. This was just a cheap sack I found because it didn't come with one. I found it on Amazon for about £5, which, considering the price of the sleeping bag, it will worth all day long. The sleeping bag's rated to -20, I think it is. It's the heaviest one they do, so if you look and you do find it, Black Snow, and look for the -21, it's this one. So it's -20 degrees Celsius, just so you know, for anyone across the pond. So yeah, got that, and I'm not kidding you, for the price, I think I paid about £120 for it, £120. Absolute steal. I'm yet to sleep in this zipped up. It's absolutely brilliant. I use it as a cover, and I'm too hot, and that's not even in a hot tent, that's in normal tents. So that just shows, though, as well, what a hot water bottle can do. Moving on to the last thing. So bear in mind, this is just for my, at the minute, winter setup. So it will change over time, and we will do a summer style one, because seasons in between, they're irrelevant. It's just your hot weather and your cold weather. So this is the Alps mountaineering. It's the Nomad RT50 backpack. These can be like gold dust to find. Honestly, it's hard to get them. For you guys across the pond in America, you'll get them quite easy. You will be able to find places to get them. For me, I've got to get them from America. So I had to get this specially ordered in. I spoke to a guy called Nate. I can't remember what his store was called now. Anyway, he was a nice guy, and he helped sort it out for me, so I didn't have to pay all the crazy import fees and everything and get stung. And yeah, this really solid material. I'm not too sure, sorry guys, but I'm not too sure about the material, what it is, but it's solid material. It's a roll top. Now, why I like roll tops is because most bags with lids, they're not floating lids, they're attached and they just flop over. Even if they are floating lids, the issue I have with them is, I mean, I do have one. You've seen me use a one that's a red one, a 4-class one from Decathlon. Brilliant backpack, but could be improved. The carry system on that's the best. But for a backpack in general that does everything you want it to do, it's this, I'm telling you. So, because the ones with the lids, they tend to flop about. Unless you're filling it all up to the max, it just looks like a big floppy mess on your back. So this, with it being a roll top, I can adjust, just keep rolling and rolling and adjust to the height I want it to and get it nice and uniformed. So I use these as a gauge. So you've got these like little mini style molly attachments, little clipper attachments. I use these as a gauge. So say I want to use it to that one, I'll make sure I fold it over at that one, and that's the height I have it. And then it clips down to the sides and over the top as well. So it's got side clips, top clips, and it just all pulls in nice and snug. Another reason I like this is not just the roll top to be able to adjust the height, it's the front opening. Now, the stuff they've done on this backpack, more backpack companies need to do it. I'm telling you now. If this backpack could have the carry system that's on my other one that you've seen me use, that's an easy fit, so you just pull 2 cords and it adjusts the full back system to your height and to your body. Now this would be the best backpack I've ever used. I mean, it still is to date really, but yeah, the front, 2 zips, and it just fully opens like that, and you can get to everything. I can even start packing my bag like that, so I can lay it down and pack it up as if it's a suitcase. Yeah, the back on it is just like, it has got 2 bars on the outside, what the harness system sort of slides up and down when you adjust, but it has just got a plastic piece as well that fits it. It could be a little bit stronger, but if you want less weight, then yeah, it is what it is. But it's still, you can see, it's still rigid. It's not going anywhere. So that's the Alps mountaineering. It's got all of these on the outside to attach to. It's got some bungee cord bits here to put your trekking poles, ice axe, whatever. You've got this bungee here to put a coat in. You've got a slot here if you want to put all else in there. It's got a rain cover. It even says there, rain cover on the bottom. Just undo the zip. You've got your rain cover. It's got bottom attachments so you can cinch stuff to the bottom. Sometimes I put my chair on there. On the back, so on the waist belt, you've got 2 pouches that can be removed. It's 2 solid pouches. It's got your waist adjustment. It's got a little whistle on it. I don't think it's very good. It's alright, but I go to woods, I ain't going to be whistling for anyone. I'm trying to avoid people, so it don't bother me. Your adjustment on the back, you just lift Velcro and adjust it according. These, you pull from there like that. You don't pull it like you're doing your karate belt. You pull it from sides forward to adjust your belt. And then it's also got a cinch on the sides as well to cinch it to you, to stop your backpack from wobbling once it's on you. So let me bring that a bit closer so you can see most of it up close in person. So you can see rain cover, and then the back system, it's very well padded as well. That's where you adjust it, the Velcro. You see the bars, and down here, we undo this. Down here, it's got a proper like lumbar support. I don't know if you can see that. Proper padded. Then your pouches with the toggles that just come off, so you can take them off and reattach something else if you want. And your straps, and then you've got your load lifters and things like that, and your roll top. And it is just, I'll show you here, just a massive bag. It's a really big bag. I mean, look at that. You've also got your little side pouches as well that are the same as the front, a bit stretchy, with your cinches, and that's on both sides. So that is everything that I use pretty much year round, minus just mixing bits and bats up, changing stuff out, tents and stuff. I do have a summer sleeping bag, but our summers over here can be so unpredictable. It can be either muggy and red hot or forecast to be red hot and absolutely peeing it down. We've had it snow in summer, so you know, it's ridiculous. Honestly, you couldn't write it sometimes. So sometimes I still take my winter sleeping bag. Depends what setup I'm using. If it's got more airflow, I'll just wang that in. Saves me having to dig out my summer one, and I'll just use it as a cover, or not use it at all. It's just there. But yeah, I do have a summer one. So what we'll do is we'll move you guys around, and I'll show you me packing this backpack so you can see exactly how I pack it, Tetris style. So let's get to packing the bag, and I'll show you guys how I do it. You can watch me putting the gear in one by one, and you'll see how this bag can fit all that gear that you've just seen on the floor in here in real time. So what I tend to do is first, my stove, because it's reasonably flat, I put that to the back section. So I don't put it down the bladder compartment, I just put it to the back section. So that goes down first. Then I'll get my tent and I'll put that down there to the side here. So I've still got a void at this side. Then I'll get my utility pouch, that goes down this side and fills that void a little bit. Then I'll get my table, that'll go just sort of resting a little bit on the top of the stove against the back. It's not quite in the bladder compartment, and I'll do that with my chopping board. I'm having brain farts. So that'll go there, as well as my grill. So that will go with them as well. So they're all flat against the back, just above. I'll give you a look inside the bag in a minute. Hot water bottle. This is a hot tent setup, so we won't put the hot water bottle in, but I'm sure you get the gist. What else have we got? So we'll get cooking pot. Bearing in mind, hot tent camping, it would probably be the other cooking pot. So what I'll do is, in fact, I'll show you it with this one. It's similar size and height and everything once it's packed, so I don't really think it matters too much. So that one goes on top of the utility pouch. As you can see, still empty. So we'll move that cooking pot out of the way. Sleeping mat, that goes on top of them, just sort of on top of the tent and the things I've already just put in. Towel, that'll go just to the side of that, on top of the tent, so that's starting to fill the bottom up. And we've got like pouches, so they can all just sort of be stuffed in and around where I can find spots. So as you can see, still empty. This can go on outside, you can have it on front, bottom, whatever. I tend to like to put it at the back along with the chopping board and table, so that's all towards the back. We'll get the light, we'll zip that up, nice little carry case. We'll put that up against that sleeping mat as well, flat up against it because it's that way, so it goes lengthways. We'll get the pillow, we'll just dump that in with the gloves. Now the coffee drip, I tend to put that in with my cooking kit sometimes, or I'll put it in a pouch or something, but for argument's sake now, it don't weigh out, I'll put it out the way. What else have we got? Coffee grinder, that can go in its pouch, and in there like that, just sat on top of the other bits that I've just put in there. So as you can see now, still empty. Now there's two ways of doing this. I either put my sleeping bag in from the top now as I've just done it, or I put the sleeping bag in first in the bottom and then do it like this up to the top. I do prefer to put the sleeping bag in first and then everything else just sort of sits on top of it, but I'm just showing you guys how easy and how uniform the bag can look. So sleeping bag, push it down, stuff it into all the voids that you can find, because it's a down sleeping bag as well. It just manipulates in so easy. You can just sort of find all little voids that some stuff have created in there. Like that. Now get it, because it's a roll top. Push it down, get some of that air out. Just keep getting the air out. Like that. See if we can get one more fold on it. There we go. Side clip, number one. Side clip number two. Top clip. and the other top clip. And there you go. That's a winter hot tent camp backpack, fully packed up. Now, like I said, I've done it this way so you could see with a sleeping bag. Now, if you do it the opposite, so exactly the way I've just put everything in now, but put the sleeping bag in first, if it's a down one. So I would put my sleeping bag in first in the bottom normally, and then just do it exactly how I did it before on top, and then just roll it. And it does create a little bit more voids in the top in case you want to put bits and bats of food in or whatever else. So bear that in mind. I've done that for demonstration purposes so you can see the sleeping bag like that. So, slots in down the side. Like that. Cinch it up. Bottle. On the side. Hatchet. On the side, and then pick a knife. I'll just put one in here. In fact, I'll put in my BPS one, so I've been using that quite a bit, and that just goes at the side of the bottle like that. And that's my full winter setup, packed away, ready to go on my next trip, and it's tiny. So easy, honestly, guys. Like I say, I would normally put my sleeping bag in first and then just put everything on top of it. It's easier, like when you saw me compressing it with the roll top, it is easier to do that when it's in the bottom because you're pushing stuff down onto it. Just being careful, using your wits, making sure you're not puncturing it or damaging any gear. So it's as easy as that. Now, if you've enjoyed this video and the sound quality as well, I've had some comments on sound quality. I've invested in a microphone for this video, which will be used here and out in all my other new videos. If you've enjoyed the content, give it a big thumbs up for me. It helps the channel a lot. Maybe drop a comment, that helps out as well. Get back to you, I like to have a chit chat. I've got a community vibe going on. Try to get people talking to each other, helping each other out with gear or discussing it. I'll get involved as well. Subscribe and click the notification to be notified when another video drops. And until next time, guys, peace.